storm show. Ay, it's a storm show.
But this is my thing. And I wanna and I'm gonna be for real, because I'm from the South, I'm for real, for real. Black women are not like other women. So we have to acknowledge that there are differences between the races. There are. Black women, we got black girl magic and it's extra. Our shit is extra. So if a bitter black woman hates you, it's gonna be some extra. So I get what he's saying. Our shit is extra. When we hate you, we extra. When we love you, we extra. Our shit is just extra. That's all it is. But I mean, we have to do acknowledge that now. So I'm not saying, no one race is better than the other, but our shit is extra. We magic and melanin over here. And so we come with extra stuff. We bring black people bring extra to everything they do. That's why, people hate on us so hard and discriminate against us so hard. Any field we enter, we dominate it because that's
That
how we
is true.
are.
That
That's
is
how
true.
we
We
are.
dominate everything. We dominate
It is.
everything.
It is. If they open that door, we will dominate that door. And so I hear him saying that,
That is true.
nothing
We
worse than a bitter
dominate
black woman.
everything.
He is correct. Our shit is extra. It always is. And even my son, because I was a single mom, but my father was a strong influence on him. Because even my
Okay.
son, he said that when he's dated other women, because I done told my son, look, don't bring no white woman in here. And that's all it is gonna be. And so he know how it is, but he said personally, he said white women are easier. You can say anything and make them smile and laugh. But he said you got to work hard to get a black woman to smile and laugh and get on her good side. But he said
Mm.
himself, he said it's worth it. He said the extra that you put in for black women to get them to smile and love you, is worth it. The extra effort is worth it. And so we are harder on them. And so they do want to sometimes go to other races if they weak. Because we harder on them. But we love them harder and we protect them harder. And nobody will ride harder for a black man than a black woman. We will ride
Okay.
with that nigga all the way to the end. So that's
Uh,
all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying is that I mean, I can. I mean, he ugly ass. I don't know why nobody even gave him 5 kids. And so, but my thing is that he ain't lying when he said nothing worse than a bitter black woman. He ain't lying. That man ain't lying,
right.
y'all. We extra with
Right.
everything.
I mean, and I just felt like I just felt like any woman, once she's bitter towards you, it's just not gonna be a pleasant experience. Like even in the Bible, it talks about like not even staying in a house with a woman that's angry. Like when a woman is pissed at you, it's you just
She'll run
you
you
don't.
up to the roof. The Bible says she'll run you up to the roof.
Thank you. That's why they say happy wife, happy life. Hey, Kenneth, do you have a comment?
I do. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Um, I study a lot about black people and their history. And to begin, I know that people believe that mental disorders such as schizophrenia, bipolar, even depression is hereditary. It could be passed down the line.
Hmm.
So we also have to believe that the effects of slavery can also be passed down the line as well. And there's a lot of hurt, there's a lot of resentment, there's a lot of anger. So there are many reasons why black men date white women specifically. One being that, it was illegal for a black man to even look at a white woman. Emmett Till was killed, brutally murdered for even like so-called whistling at a white woman. So now it's okay. And many black men look at white women as a trophy. That
That is true.
this is the Mount Rushmore of women, and now I've achieved that. Though they also date because black people want to be, no matter what black people say, black people want to be accepted by white people, and it's just not going to happen.
Mm.
No.
It's not going to happen, and we try our best. That's why we say things like, "Oh, y'all embarrassing us in front of white people. Oh, we want to be accepted into the Grammys. Oh, we want to be accepted. We have all of this wealth, but we just will not make our own football leagues and create our own, Grammys. We wanted to attend the BET Awards. When we attend the BET Awards, we wear like jeans and t-shirts and shit. But when we go to the white folks Grammys,
We
we
dress
get
up.
$50,000 suits and shit
Mhm.
and gowns from Balenciaga and this, that, and the third. So we do care about white people more than we care about ourselves. And also,
Some of us.
unfortunately,
Yeah,
unfortunately,
definitely. Yeah.
um, unfortunately, many black mothers, uh, black. I'll give you an example. I was in the grocery store. I live in New York City. I was in the grocery store and I heard this lady yell. She said, "Get your motherfucking black ass over here right now!" And the boy was like 4. He looked like he was like 3, 4 years old. I mean, he was just looking at some fucking apples. You know what I mean? He wasn't like picking up apples and throwing them. He was just looking at them.
Escucha a Natreon Music on YouTube para la música latina con salsa, merengue, dopis, bachata y más. La música es para las personas hablar inglés y español. Now to listen to Natreon's music, check out the link to his YouTube channel and the link to his IG page. It is all in the description box below.
And when he came over there, she like popped him in his head for nothing. You know, there was a woman last year, I don't know if you guys saw, but it was a viral video of the black woman. She went to her son's school. He was in the first grade, and she dragged him out of class and she beat his ass, like right there at the school. And she was calling him nigger and like just berating him. A lot of these black,
But Kenneth, I gotta say, a lot of black people, a lot of black people I know came up like that. Where if you clowned at school, that sound kind of old school. Because
right?
yeah, I didn't see nobody doing that in my generation, but I heard stories of many people being whooped right in class in front of the
Oh
other
yeah,
kids.
oh
I
yeah,
ain't
that
saying it's
happened to
right, but
me.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, that happened to me. Like I didn't get whooped, but people in my class. I'm 33. I graduated high school in 2004.
Okay.
Graduated middle school in 2000. So I mean, I come from that era where parents did that, and that's what I'm saying. That we result to berating, hitting, slapping, yelling, screaming. That's what we result to. We are reactors. You know what I mean? So black men don't, some of them, like they don't want to be a part of that anymore. So that's why when they reach a level of success, they kind of separate themselves from that. I'm speaking from experience. I don't date women or anything, but as of September 19th of last year, I separated myself from my family. I changed my phone number, deactivated my Facebook, and I've everyone, sister, mother, brother, grandma, grandpa, aunt, everybody. No one has access to me at all. And I've come from a family line of
That's
complete
a red flag.
dysfunction. I come from a line of dysfunction and angry people who refuse to get treatment. I seek therapy. My mother's been on drugs and alcohol for 30 years. She's now clean for 3 years. Her and her mother fight. Grandmother, like everybody just fight. And I've offered to pay for therapy for everyone as a family, and they just refuse to do it. But they continue to want to fight and not live a peaceful life. And we all have we're fighting against so many things that we don't even know of, like on a spiritual level that we go through daily. And we, like me personally, I've had like spinal surgeries and like so many different things where I'm just not at a place to tolerate anything that isn't bringing peace and harmony to my life. So I do
and and
understand.
I get and I get that, and I get that. I would say myself, I don't think I cut my family off, but I definitely distant. I don't even say family, I say relatives. We ain't been family for a real long time, but I definitely distance myself from a lot of relatives that I feel like are toxic. But that's,
Right.
I don't know if that's really a black thing or if that's just some people just got
That's a
toxic ass
every
family.
race thing. How you doing,
Yes.
Storm? I'm sorry to interrupt you. I'm just
Go ahead,
boiling over
son.
here. I wasn't even gonna call, but I can't sit back and listen. You know, it's just making me boil because it's like, first of all, there's toxicity in every race, every single race. You have white women that abuse their children. You have black women that abuse their children. You know what
Right.
I mean? And then there's black women that don't even believe in cursing around children. I don't even curse around my nieces and nephews, and I
Right.
won't curse around my children. So to say that, maybe he wants his children or wants himself to get away from that toxicity, he has to look within himself what was attracting that toxicity. We don't know how great of a man he was within these relationships either. You know, I think we're just really judging black women a little bit too hard right now. And we're not digging deep. We're really not digging deep. He could have been abusive. He could have been a cheater. What made these women so angry toward him
Right.
that is making him even say these things about black women?
Yeah.
And when you go
Well,
into a therapy session, there aren't only black women in there. You know what
right,
I
There's
mean?
right. But I
everybody.
mean,
There's men, there's
me
women, there's people
personally,
from all races. I wasn't
I'm
even gonna call in here with this scarf on, but I'm boiling, y'all.
I'm not speaking on him per se. I'm speaking for like not a whole, but not him personally. I'm speaking for things that I've seen. Living in New York, there's is so many different cultures here. I'm also from North
Mhm.
Carolina, from a small town, 12,000 people. I hung around women the majority of my life, and I've seen so many times. The majority of the people that I've seen, whether it's personally, whether I see them in a store, at the bus stop, in a clothing store, many black women that I see are talk very angrily to their children,
That's you.
and I must say that we compare ourselves to other races. Oh, other races this and other races that, but no other race have endured what black people have endured. We
Mhm.
That's
can't
true.
I
compare
just said that in
ourselves.
the chat.
But listen, but we cannot compare ourselves to white people, to Spanish people, because nobody was at the bottom of them ships chained together like that. And since
Well,
people
we could
were
talk about the
when
Spaniards
I
because the
know,
Spaniards are kind of a product of us being chained to
but
those ships.
nobody
But we
has
that's
Yeah, but
another
experienced
nobody
story.
nobody
what
Exactly.
dealt with stuff
nobody
like
has
this though.
experienced what black people have
Is
experienced. So if nobody has experienced what black people have experienced, and us as a whole have not healed, we are literally not healed, and we speak as if things just happened 1,000 years ago. My mother's 53 years old. The civil rights movement in that era was like 50 years ago. It's not a long time, you
I
know. So
totally agree with
if
that,
we
but
have
that
not
doesn't mean that
healed,
all black women raise their children the same.
I'm
I
not saying
totally
Right.
agree
all
with
black
you.
women, but if we have not healed as a race, then that
Right.
means that some of those problems and anger from the past is going to continue to get passed down as a whole. Not everybody, but a greater good of black people have a lot of healing to do. So we're going to do things that are different from other races. It's not like and we could, every time we talk about the whole black women thing, black women aren't receptive to this. And then they want to bring in, oh, well, black men are deadbeats. And that's right.
No black
Black
Well,
woman
with
has
men
all
not
due
won't.
said
respect,
that.
it took a black woman to get on here for you to change the narrative because now you're actually speaking my language. Now you're saying something that I actually understand. If you were to scroll up, you would actually say that people are forgetting about slavery. Actually, I think
I just
Storm
got
read it.
on. I
Did
just
you
yeah, I
got
think I
not?
on.
read
You
the
So
you
comment.
you
Yeah.
read it. I said people are forgetting about slavery. We have not healed from slavery. People are
Yeah.
forgetting about Jim Crow. More people were killed post slavery than slavery. A lot of people are forgetting about a lot of these things. So yeah, we do need to heal. A lot of our mental health issues in the black community stem from slavery and it was passed down generational. But you know what I mean?
but
Now,
how do we heal if we continue to say that there's not a problem? When I talk to my grandmother and my mother about their problems and about the problem of our family, they pretend as if those problems don't exist.
No,
right.
no, that's
For an
but
example,
you gotta understand. But wait a minute, I gotta say this because I deal with that shit too. You gotta understand with the older generation, they come from that generation where you just didn't talk about shit. You just took
right,
it and you put your head down and you never voiced anything. So I'm not
right.
trying to be funny, but trying to talk to the older generation to try to get them to understand
It's
where
not
we
gonna
come
happen.
from. This shit ain't gonna work. Let that go. You might as well talk to us and the ones we birthing. Because the
But
ones
what
that
about the
old,
people
I
that
they
were
don't
stuck
brought
agree
in
with
up in
their
the
that.
ways.
So
80s?
I don't. I
What
don't
about the people
necessarily
that were
agree with
brought up
that.
in the 80s, the
'Cause
50
Hey,
year olds?
hey, do you have a comment? I want to let you. I want to give you a chance to speak to.
Well, I mean, I've been listening to Kenneth, and I have a bit of a problem with what he's been saying because, no disrespect, but you're not a woman. You don't date women. So how can you speak on women?
Because I don't date women. You first of all, you don't know my past. You don't know if I have dated women in the past. For anyone to say that just because someone is not a woman does not mean that they don't understand a woman. That's ridiculous. If that's
My
the
question to
case,
Kenneth, I
then
No,
want
it's
to ask Kenneth,
ridiculous what
do you
you're
date
saying
black men,
because
Kenneth?
you don't understand the reason why black women are so angry. You're saying when we
Do
were
you
in the
date black
slavery
men?
days,
Hold on,
so
one at a time.
so
Go ahead.
when so when people say when since we're talking about who each other dates, when people talk about when this gay topic comes up, all of the straight people have all of these solutions. They have so much to say about why this person is gay. They weren't born gay. They were gay because they were molested. And they have all of these solutions, but they aren't gay. They haven't had
it
sex with the same
No.
sex.
Do you
So it
date
goes
black
the same
men?
route.
That's a totally
Okay,
different
okay, hold
topic
on,
because
but
we
that
can.
doesn't
It's a totally different
that's not
topic,
what
but
I'm
it's the
saying.
same
And
thing.
don't put those
Just
words
because
in
I'm
my
not a
mouth.
woman, just because I'm not a woman does not mean
No,
I don't
no,
understand
because
a
you are
woman.
not a woman, it makes you ignorant to the facts that you are speaking on. Just like if I was to say black men are not shit, that would be, I mean, I've dated a bunch of black men who aren't shit, but I would be ignorant because I'm not a black man. I can't say every black men are not shit.
But
okay,
ladies, people
passionate. You was
actually
about to
have
make a point too.
jobs. People
That's
actually have
Hold
jobs
on,
a
and
hold
big
on,
study
Kenneth.
question.
things.
Pastor, you was
Kenneth,
about to make
do
a
you
point too.
date black men? That's my question. Do you date
I'm,
black men? That's actually a big question.
I,
I'm
I
not.
date, I've dated black males, but I wouldn't call none of them men.
Okay.
And let me
But
tell you
Kenneth,
why. Because what males have failed to realize is even from the Bible says, okay, if you want to be the head of the household, you need to know what you're doing. You need to be led by something. And if you're not
Yes.
led by something smart or something, worth being led by, you're being led by nothing. You're being led by the devil. You're being led by all things that could go wrong, that will go wrong. So if you're saying that me being a black woman, I'm always upset. Maybe I'm upset because I don't have a strong man, and it's hard for a bunch of women to find a strong man because y'all don't want to be that. Y'all don't want to be strong for yourselves. Y'all don't want to be strong for y'all kids. Y'all don't want to be strong for y'all women. And then y'all go to another race to find women that are weak because a black woman will not sit and take. If I sat up here and had to take
correct.
all the things that I had to take from a black man, his abuse, his don't want to work, his don't want to pay for anything, don't want to pay for his own child that he helped me create it, I have no choice but to be a little angry.
But can I
I
I'm
can I
not
say
bitter.
completely
I'm
something
agree
real?
with
angry.
that.
I'm angry because
Hold
of
on,
the
let me
choices
jump
you
in.
made
Let me
have
jump in.
befallen upon me, and now I
I
have the
agree with part
responsibility
of
that
that.
you should have.
But
I
let me say
totally,
this though.
I totally agree with part of that, but we need to know as people that nobody controls. See, I seek therapy. I personally pay for therapy, and what I've learned is that nobody is to control your emotions. You are the only person who controls that. So we say that we
Right.
need this person to complete us. Oh, I need a strong black man to make me happy. No, boo, you need yourself to make yourself happy, and
No,
Do
that's
I'm
you
just
not
up to
date
saying
black
that,
you.
but
men?
it would be nice to have a strong black
Hold on. Let
man
me.
Yeah,
somewhere. Like I could
Cause
walk
this
up the street and
Hold on,
see a
Kenneth,
bunch
before
of
you
black
respond.
boys,
cause see
a
Hold
bunch
on.
of black
this
men,
gay
but
man will not
how many
Hey,
of them are
I'm gonna ask
actually
him
taking
repeatedly.
care of
Do
their
he date
business?
black men?
right,
That
but
gay
hey,
man will not
before
answer.
you respond, I am gonna say this. It's nothing wrong with a woman saying she needs a strong black man because you can't do everything by yourself. Women may women may be proud of being independent, but I don't know any woman that wants to do all of this shit by herself, that
No, I'm
wants to
not.
carry all the load
I'm
by
tired of being
herself.
an independent woman. I would love
You
to be a meek little flower and be able to just relax with my kids while my husband or my guy or my man take care of a few things. But I mean, when you ask a woman, and it's typically a black woman, it's other races of women because I see a bunch of Hispanics and there's some white women who do it.
This video has been sponsored by Bella BT. Now, ladies, do you want to bring the spa home to you? Are you ready to rejuvenate that V all while using natural herbs? This V steam is taking over feminine care from sea to shining sea, helping women with fibroids, fertility issues, stress relief, and more. And we can even get them cycles back on track. Use Bella BT, that is owned by licensed esthetician Brittany McDonald. All of her contact information is in the description box below. Hair her up now and use that Bella BT so you don't be walking around with the spoiled rotten cookie. Are you tired of suffering from bloating, constipation, and other digestive issues? Are you ready to finally lose that food, but that just never seems to go away? Then consider using my colon cleaner. And yes, you heard me right, my colon cleaner. This colon cleaner is made of 100% organic psyllium fiber and has helped people reverse IBS, lose weight, and so much more. All of the information and contact info for the creator of my colon cleaner is in the description box below.
But when you see them carrying around a bunch of kids, and then the nigga in the back with his head down, looking like the biggest kid, that takes a toll on a woman. You don't understand the toll that takes. That takes more of a toll than all the kids that's in between them. Is having a lazy, no good man, and it's not nothing. We can't do nothing about that. That comes from what I said in the comments about the church equals the toxic masculinity, because my grandpa was a pastor. He got a church from the pastor who founded it. He was the pastor for 50 years before he died. My dad has been the head deacon, born and raised in the church. I have been born and raised in the church. My dad, he is toxic masculinity from head to toe. There is nothing. My mom did everything. She cooked, cleaned, had 3 jobs, but he only had 1. And it never was enough. It was never enough for and my mom died taking care of everything that my dad couldn't have done by his motherfucking self that my mom did.
Right, but let me ask you this, because when we get into our parents' relationships, we have to understand we don't totally understand the complete dynamic because we were children. We weren't dumb. We've seen a lot of what happened, but we don't understand everything. But let me ask you this. What is it within women that's making them choose those types of men? Because that's something for us to talk about.
I mean, if you listen, Spawn, if you tell me there's, let's say, 3 million men, 3 billion men on this world, 3 billion men, 3 billion men. If you can't tell me that 2 billion of them men are good men, and you could show me like 2 billion, I'm sorry, not million, billion, good men or decent men. Men who not complaining about having to pay child support for the kids that they created. Men who not trying to cheat on their wives for what their wives not doing. That excuses. Men who don't have money problems. I know men who are complaining about having 1 job, and I know women who have 3 jobs.
Can I speak?
Yeah, I'm gonna Kenneth, I'm gonna let you respond, and then we're gonna let some more people get on.
All right. So yeah, I've lived in both the North. I currently live in the North, and I lived in the South. I was raised in the South, and many of these Black communities date amongst those communities. They don't, if you're from the hood, you're not dating someone in the suburban area. You're dating someone in the hood.
From your pool,
in
right?
that hood,
Yes.
and in that hood, they have hood mentality with low education.
That goes back to us needing healing.
Right, needing healing, right. So my thing is that I've seen plenty times. Again, there's a girl that I went to school with. She had her first child when we was in the 7th grade. She had her second child when we was in the 10th grade. She had her third child when we was in the 12th grade. Currently in 2020, she has 10 children. And she is now a grandmother. She is now a grandmother because her oldest child just had a baby in the 11th grade. So she's 34 years old, and she's a grandmother. Okay. And I have 2 classmates who are grandmothers. And her child's father had her pregnant and 2 other girls pregnant at one time. He beat on her, this and blah, blah, blah. I could just go on and on. But the thing is that from what I've seen in the hood and places like that are not in the suburban life, many women, they meet these guys, and within, if the woman has her own place, within the first month, she done accepted him to move in. She done gave away the pussy after the first 2 weeks. She don't know his middle name. She don't know what kind of disorders his family has to protect the child. She don't know the family dynamic of the past.
But that just isn't
she
in
doesn't
the
know
hood.
many
I've
of those.
seen that in the suburbs as well, where women don't know a guy and will just like make him like her husband. I don't know.
Let me let Opinionated get in here. Opinionated, you got a comment?
Hi, Storm. How are
Hey.
you? Hi, y'all. How
Hey, Bo.
is everyone? Okay. I have three things to say. First thing is, I did this story on
And Kenneth, I gotta let some more people come in, okay?
Great.
Okay, I'll make it quick. I did the story on Stephen McCall as well. I mean, Jackson as well.
Yes.
Stephen Jackson, I think the main problem that I had with him was the narrative that he spun against Black women.
Okay.
Not every Black woman is a bitter Black woman. You can't make a Black woman a bitter Black woman without you being that bitter Black man who turned her into that woman. That's my whole.
That's a point to touch on too. They always want to talk about the reaction.
Right.
We have to keep it real and say, what did you do? Did you lie to her? Did you cheat on her? Did you get her pregnant thinking you was making her believe you was gonna stay with her and you did? Like it's more to it. So go ahead.
More to it, yes. The second one I want to touch on is what Kenneth was saying about the type of people you're choosing. I do agree. When I first meet guys, I tell them I'm an experience. When they ask to get to know me, they like, so tell me a little bit about yourself. And I'm like, well, I'm experienced. And they mean, they look at me like, well, what you mean? You're not going to tell me? I'll tell you about me. I don't want to know about you. First of all, I'm not sleeping with you on the first night. We're going to date first. I want you to see the real me first.
Okay.
Experience me. Experience me. Because every person is an experience. Every person is different. You cannot sit here and have someone say, oh, well, I like this, I like that, I do this, I do that. That's not the truth. The truth is going to come out in about 2 to 3 months down the line. And you're going to see.
Days. Yep.
Exactly. You're going to see who that person is. So what I want you to do is if you stick around long enough, experience all of me, baby. That's what you got to do. Last but not least, dating in the hood. I've dated hood dudes. I was in the military for 10 years and I was in the reserves, the Army Reserves for 4 years, but I was in the Army for 10 years. I've dated almost every race. I kid you not.
Okay, what can you tell us?
Each race is the same. A man is a man, a woman is a woman. Bottom line, everybody have that certain expectations when it comes down to financial status, sex, and just how you treat a person. It's life. You're dealing with life. Okay. So what I have to say about that is, even though he went and he dated another woman, I ate him up because you used the term Black. All women, I agree with you. All women are the same. Say all women. Don't just put Black out there because you have a mother, you have an aunt, you have ancestors that were Black women. When you say that, you're depicting a stereotype amongst the whole entire race, and that's totally incorrect.
Now I got a question for you. I got a question for you before we move on. Now, to play devil's advocate, some people would say, well, he never said all Black women. So do we feel like certain conversations like that should only be in certain companies, in like a Black company? Or is it because he said it on Instagram where everybody can see it that you guys feel like, okay, we all gonna be painted with this brush? Because that is what happens to us. One Black person steals something, they look at every Black person that come in the store. That is true.
That's not true. Because you could steal something, and I'm a Black woman, and I see another Black man walk in a store that look the same way. He could pull out a wad of cash. That don't mean you're going to steal. I can't, and that's the problem. A lot of people put stereotypes once you say something. Well, that's my problem with him. When you put out that type of narrative about Black women, all Black women are going to receive that narrative. What he should have did was, instead of putting that out there, you have daughters, you have sons. Those children will see this. Take the time out and chat with those kids, chat with the mother, and don't put that type of scenario out there against all Black women. Don't do that, because it only tarnishes us and it tarnished black men. Black men are great men. I uplift black men 100%. You'll never hear me tear down a black man at all. That's not my place, because without a black man, I could never be a black woman. You have to, he messed up when he said the word black. If he would have just put all women up in there, I would have had no qualms. Secondly, he should have took that up with the kid's mother. You know, those children, they have to go to school. Who says their social media wasn't ate up by the remark that he made? People out here are crazy. You know, they do things like that. If they're gonna go and threaten Lil Tyreek for killing ghosts on Power, imagine what they're doing to these kids' social media, you know, because he said those 3 words: bitter black woman.
Well, I want to thank you for coming on, Opinionated, okay?
Thank you, Storm. I appreciate you, and you have a good night.
You too. Thank you for being patient.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye. Yeah, you know what? That's a damn good point, because you know what? I sat back and I thought too, as she was talking, like, well, damn, why didn't he make that phone call to his children's mothers? Because baby mamas is so damn derogatory. But he said them kids grown now, right? So is it that them kids are grown and they don't want nothing to do with him because they felt like he wasn't around? I don't know. Extravagant. I can't see your whole name. You go ahead.
Extravagant minimalist.
Hey,
am I reverbing or can you hear me?
Oh no, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So I want to go back a little bit just for a second. When it goes back to our people and people calling us angry black women, you know, we all know that term is the pin that is pulled from the grenade. When people throw that at you, you're an angry black woman. So what do? We try to act like we're not angry, and then we get extra mad because we put ourselves down. We're like, shit, I should have went off because I was right to go off. And so when people say something like that to me, like, oh, you know, like this one woman said, oh, you have a right to be angry. I'm like, I know I do. When you're angry, you have a right to be angry.
You do.
Because that's what's up. But see, then you get pigeonholed. Okay, that being said, the other brother that was talking about women and the girl who got on and said, you know, oh, well, you don't know nothing about women. You're not a woman. He made a good point. He said, well, you know, you're not gay. What do you know about gay people? The problem in our community is that we have so many nuances to deal with that we focus on these micro matters rather than the big picture. You know, we get set off, we lose our train of thought because we start folding in all these issues and matters rather than focusing on what's in front of us, what's right there. The thing about black people being black or not black or whatever, you know, you even said, oh, well, you know, high yellow, mixed. Let me tell y'all something. When we haggle over little dumb shit like that, that's what separates us. That's what makes us small. We need to think of people. If you're not white and you're not another race, you're black. Okay?
Right.
Can we all just
let me
agree?
clarify. I said that I made that comment because when you look up Aisha Curry's name, it says Canadian, Jamaican, it lists all these different things. The same thing with Steph Curry. So that's why I said that. I know it's black people out here with sandy brown hair and green eyes. We all know somebody that look like that.
And it's even not their fault.
Right. So let me clear that up. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I just wanted to say a few things on that matter. And I thought that brother was very educated. And that's the other thing. We often resort to physical violence because we can't handle our emotions. And that leads right into mental illness, which a lot of people don't even realize they have because it is ingrained in our culture. We are like, if you look at our culture as a whole and you look at an abused child and all their symptoms, that's what we are. Our culture is that of an abused child, no direction, no focus, no boundaries, lost. You know what I'm saying? If you look at our culture, I mean, our culture is rich, but I mean, if you look at us as a people, I should say, and in the bigger picture, it's almost the same as an abused child. You can look at an abused child and see everything in that kid in us, and we need to just pull it together. We need to stop, nitpicking over stupid little stuff and understand that to be together, you have to be together. You can't be going off about little things. So what if that dude is gay? What does that have to do with you? And what does his sex have to do with you? You thinking about how he's doing it is nasty. Okay? Don't sweat that. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry. Let me stop because I'm getting ready to go off.
You're fine. Hey, express yourself. I'm not mad at you. I'm gonna move on to the next caller. But I want to thank you for calling in.
Peace, y'all.
Peace.
Thank you for having me.
Bye-bye.
This product here keeps my skin smooth, smelling good, and of course, it is made with all natural ingredients, so I don't have to worry about breaking out and my eczema acting up. What I'd like to do is to give me $1 for this, rub it in the desired areas that you want to smell good. It is not cute to be ashy, get you some Lotus Radiance. Are you struggling with hair growth issues? Are you ready to finally be able to actually put your hair in a real ponytail and not that little knob? Have you found that beauty supply products leave your hair dry, flat, useless, and dull? And are you ready for a change? And if you are, you need to try some moomoogrease. This product was created for us, and nothing will change about your hair if you don't change your regimen. This product can be used in old people, young people, it doesn't matter. The products are 100% vegan, and all of the information for moomoogrease is down in the description box below.
Well, she kind of reminds me of she's pretty. She reminds me of Adele Givens. Anyway, hey Tay-Bay.
Hey Storm, how you feeling?
I'm good. How you doing tonight?
I'm well. And hey Chasers, y'all have to excuse me. I was already cued into the chat. My baby woke up. She's 3 years old, still nursing. She said, "Mama, let me have it." So I had to let her have it. But
yeah, you fine. Just don't show us areola. You good?
I ain't trying to hurt nobody. But a few things. It's about 3 things. One thing is, I just want y'all to see my baby. Put your hand on my face, move. This baby is hair yellow. Both her parents are chocolate. I just want to be known because we are the only race that can create other colors. That's fact. So yes, there are a lot of people who classify themselves as Black. Nevertheless, they have been whited out. There are children who come out yellow, even though their parents are brown. And that is because we are the only race. We Black women are the only women on this earth that can produce multiple colors. Hence albino, and all that other type of stuff. That's one thing. Another thing is when the guy that was watching,
Oh, you went out. Did you mute yourself? Oh, you might have muted yourself. I see your mouth moving. We can't hear you though. Try going out, then come back in. Okay. All right, I'm gonna put her down. I'm gonna put Sunray. We're gonna put Kenneth back up there.
Okay, I'm just gonna be quick.
Sunray.
Yeah, I just feel like everyone makes the Black struggle their struggle, and I feel like the Black woman's struggle, even the Black man's struggle, isn't everyone else's struggle. It's like when we say we're struggling, they say, "Oh, they're struggling in every race," and it's like, no, their struggle is totally different than ours. It isn't the same. Okay. Or no disrespect to you, but the LGBTQ community, they bring up like slavery or the Jim Crow days a lot and how we had to fight, but that movement is totally different than the LGBTQ community. It's totally different than that movement. Whereas I feel like that community has a choice, whereas we don't have a choice to be Black. You have a choice as to whether you want to be straight, gay, lesbian, whatever, whereas we don't have that choice. We're born Black and we're always going to be Black. And another quick point I want to make is about people being ignorant to the fact that some Black people have Eurocentric features. because of slavery and because they have Euro ancestry. That's why we have high yellow people. High yellow people didn't come from Africa. They weren't born that way. They come from European people. That's where they come from. And black people mixing. That's where light-skinned people come from. So it's like, and another point I want to make is Africans don't claim us either. As African Americans, we don't get claimed by Africans. We get called Akatas. We get called Akatas. We get called all types of stuff. They do not claim us either. So African Americans don't have a place either. Like, what race are we? You know, light-skinned or racially ambiguous people like to complain like, oh, we don't fit in with the white people. We don't fit in with the blacks. We don't fit in with the Africans or the light-skinned people or the, like, I mean, we all discriminate against one another. You know what I mean? And we try to bunch up all of our problems into the black community problems. Like, everybody's problems not our problems. That's for one. And for two, everyone doesn't fight our struggle, and that's on period.
All right, Sun Ray, I want to thank you for coming on.
Good night.
Good night. All right. Okay, let me unmute you, Kenneth. I don't think Lisa talked yet. Let me let Lisa talk. Hey, go ahead, Lisa.
What I want to say is that it's like two ways that you can like look at things. When you're black and you raise your kids like very educated and they like talk proper and don't have hood slang and stuff like that, you know, they're not accepted like by the black community all that well either, because like people be like, why do your kids act white? You know what I'm saying? So they stereotype them like right off the rip, like they're saying that they act white when they're just educated in the ways that they talk, you know. So, and they accuse them of wanting to be white when that's not the point. So and then also when you say that all black men that come from where they didn't have a father in the home, don't, you know, have issues or whatever when they grow older. Sometimes it's something to beat the odds and don't have that, because like I was born in the 60s, okay? And so my husband father was in the military and he died when my husband was 5 years old. But we was neighbors, so our families was friends, you know. So me and my husband grew up together. So my dad like stepped in and, you know, like mentored and, you know, was like a dad to my husband. We didn't know we was gonna get married when we were kids though, but we did. So my dad ended up being like his dad, you know. And we've been married like 30 years, and he's not nowhere near like what they say, you know, like what the typical black man without a father end up being.
But he had your dad.
You know what I'm saying?
But he had your dad.
But my dad's not his biological dad though.
Huh?
But my dad's not his biological dad though. That's what I'm saying though. So, but he still was just a man figure around in his life.
Are you suffering from a piece of face? Do you have oily skin, dry skin, or even a combination of both? Do you suffer from acne, hyperpigmentation, eczema, psoriasis, and a myriad of other skin issues out there? Pretty much, no matter what you got going on with your skin, Shay's Creations has a solution for you. Shay's Creations is made in a home, all right, not in a laboratory. It's 100% organic, and this company focuses on skin toning, acne, hyperpigmentation, and preventing inflammation. If you're interested, all of the links to the website and social media info is in the description box below.
Yeah.
But that's what's wrong with our race is like when, you know, women have baby by these guys and they leave and they raise, you know, back when we was coming up, like when you did something, you got whooped like 3 times before you got home. You know what I'm saying? You got whooped by the neighbor, you got whooped by another person, you know, like how these kids are nowadays. You put your hand on somebody's child, they want to fight you, shoot you, and kill you. Like, it wasn't like that when I was a kid. You couldn't do that, you know, be outside cussing at 8 or 9 years old. You know what I'm saying? It just wasn't like that, you know. So it's the way the world has changed because, like, you know how they say it take a village to raise a child. That's how it
Mm-hmm.
was when we was coming up. Like everybody looked out for everybody. It's nothing like how it is, nowadays.
And I get
So,
that,
like,
and I get that. I just feel like things, as the generations go on, things change, and it's sometimes it's a good thing. I just feel like no matter what, every man is gonna need a male influence in his life at some point to be a good man for you. That's just how I feel.
okay, but right, and that's where the family come in. At there, I know that there might be an uncle or a older cousin, to that mother to help step in, and that's what I'm saying. Where we not family anymore like we used to be, where an uncle or a brother or a cousin would step in and help raise that young man. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And take
Oh,
over
oh, you got to
where
turn
the
your TV
father
down too.
kind
By the
of.
way, I didn't realize that your TV's up in the back. You got to turn your TV down a little bit.
That's not my TV. I don't have no TV.
Okay, somebody TV on. Okay, my bad. Go ahead, Lisa. My bad.
And so like back in the day, a relative would step in and be a father, figure or a male figure to that male child without, a father. You know what I'm saying? And like come pick them up, do things with them, and show them how to be a man. And see, that's what as time went on, where our race got away from that, where another male would step in to help raise, their family child, and spend time with them, do things with them, because it ain't about the money or anything. It's the time that matters. It's the examples that you set, for that child that makes all the difference in the world.
I agree. I agree. Okay, Lisa, I want to thank you for coming on. Okay,
All right, have a good one.
have a good one. She spoke that real. Okay. Oh, damn! It took everybody down. All right. Tay Bay. God damn. God dog it. There we go. All right. Hold on. Let me add Tay Bay back, and then we're gonna jump. I'm gonna let Kenneth respond, and we're gonna end with Lacey. All right. Go ahead, Tay Bay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. So when I watched the guy speak, um, I didn't take it personal. I did not take it personal when he was talking
Okay.
about bitter black women. That's
Okay.
number one. Um, him talking about don't have children. I feel like his message is just like don't have children by multiple people, which is something that we can't. Everyone cannot really control that much in this day and age and how we're living right now. Because life is moving so fast, and we have not learned how to deal with things properly
Right.
due to the continuous stripping of our spiritual memory. We have no idea who we truly were before any form of slavery. And I'm not just talking about the slave trade over here with the Spaniards and all of that. Arabs enslaved us before that happened. And there was slavery before that and before that. We have been in slavery multiple times due to our disobedience from the Creator, because we were the chosen children to abide under the law, statutes, and commandments of the Creator. Now, to piggyback off of that, when we talk about dating different races, well, if you are into reading the Word, and I'm not just talking about the King James version, because there are scriptures for the encounters of the Most High in many different books that have been hidden from us. The Vatican has a library of books that have yet to be released from us, but are slowly being released to us because we are living in a day where information will be poured into us so that we can get our memory back. But saying all that to say, if you go into the word, it says that we weren't never supposed to mix with a different race, which in the Bible it is a nation. Nations are colors of people, groups of people, not places. So it's not going to say race in the Bible. It's going to say nation. And we were never supposed to mix nations. We weren't supposed to live amongst each other. We weren't supposed to eat like them, talk like them, party like them. We weren't supposed to sleep with their women. We weren't supposed to sleep with their men. And that is one of the main reasons why we're in the situation that we're in. I'm sorry, y'all. This conversation is really making me hurt. It's agitating. It's irritating as hell because nobody really understands because we're not taking the time to understand one another. With Kenneth speaking, he was speaking through his journey. He was speaking from his eyes. His opinion wasn't even really what he was trying to put at the forefront. He was trying to put what he had studied to show himself in order to get people to understand where he's coming from. Not personally his personal lifespan. Because if we get personal, my mother had 5 kids by 5 different men. So I got to experience 5 different men.
I'm the oldest of 5.
And I can't call not one of them men to give me no advice, and not one of them men is checking up on me today.
Yeah, I get that. And I'm the only child, so I don't understand none of it technically then.
You see, and I'm the oldest of 5. I'm the oldest of 5.
Yeah.
So like you can't personal situation, you have to open up a book. You have to open up books. And not only do you have to open up books, you need to get in tune with what's going to be living forever, and that is your spirit. Because that is going to help you discern truth from fiction. Because and from opinion, and guess what? Opinions are based on no facts at all. So as far as I'm concerned, anybody's opinion don't mean nothing to me. I don't respect opinions. I don't honor them because no facts are based on them. Let's speak truth in this mug. Like that's all I'm saying about the situation. I ain't got no hate towards no other race. I just know when he said black women, I'm okay. Y'all said he got mixed women or when we don't even know if the women that he had children with is even black, so but when he
that's how I got in trouble because I've seen pictures of them and they're okay. I'm gonna just say black. I ain't gonna.
I'm just saying no. I'm not finna get on you about it. I'm saying we came to the conclusion as a whole is we not sure if these women is even niggas. Let's just be clear. We're not sure they niggas because that is what classifies you as black. If you are classified as a Negro, you're black. If you're not classified as that, you're not. I'm not talking about you right now. And that just is what it is. Take it personal or not, it is what it is. So I'm saying that to say is when he said black women, I think he was just, me personally, was talking in his group. And it's okay to not bring up them other people in other races. It's okay to keep it at black women this and black men that. It's okay, y'all. They done made us think it's not okay to only center ourselves amongst ourselves. It's supposed to be like that. It's a problem not being like that because we the only race that's not like that. But it's a reason for all of that, y'all. We have truly been spiritually stripped. We don't know shit about where we come from, who we are, how we were supposed to live, or anything like that. Because if we knew, we wouldn't even be adding these people into any common denominator at all. Because we're in the days and times that we're in because of our ancestors not wanting to be themselves no more, wanting to be like the other nations, which y'all would say other races. So that's that part. And all that old school, that neighborhood, and it does take a village. It does take a village. It doesn't take a village to whoop children and all that type of stuff. It takes a village on a whole nother level.
Don't hit my kid. Don't hit my kid. That would make me flip out. Don't hit my kid.
My baby, it ain't that serious, but we have been. Do y'all know that there were books written on how to turn blacks against each other? Slave owners didn't come up with this just by being that they are wicked. I mean, there is a group of people that are just so wicked that they have done some crazy things to us. But one of the craziest things they did was actually write books to teach other people in their nation on how to turn us against each other. I'm talking about, it literally says how to turn light skins against dark skins, tall against black, women against men. And all I'm watching and hearing is everybody doing exactly what their ancestor slave owners taught, beat into them. That's all I'm seeing. And that is what we need to come up out of when it comes to this. So no, I do not agree with the guy when he says multiple kids by multiple people, because honestly, the Most High is trying to bring in children of his, and he gonna bring them in one way or the other. And that's straight up. Some children that he had ain't gonna be worth a dime, but it may be just one. It may be just one that might actually be what would a part of what is about to go down, that this generation will be a witness to, for the most part, if you live to make it. I'm just saying, we here for it. And it's just like me. My mother had 5 kids by 5 different men. I am the child that is bringing the word of the Most High to my family. It's because of my daddy. You see, my daddy has 4 children. None of them talking like this. You feel me? It was a reason why this was planted in my mother, to birth me, to create me, to have a connection with
Alexa's for the timer.
Things, but I'm not gonna drag y'all too long, because I really can go all day with this. I probably do need my own damn page, my own damn.
You do. You're teaching me some stuff, and I'm like, you know what?
We gotta love each other, and we gotta stop thinking that it's about color at this point in time, because it's not really about color. It's about, and it's not mental illness. Everything is spiritual. That's my last point. Everything is spiritual. There is spirits of darkness and there is spirits of light. Okay? And these spirits have names. Doubt is a sin, not only a sin, but it is a spirit. Okay? Worrying is not only a sin, but it's also a spirit.
Right.
Depression is the spirit. A sickness, a spiritual sickness, that if you allow your doors, your temple, have cracks in the doors, you can talk to somebody and agree with the wrong person for 5 minutes, and it will plant a seed of doubt, a seed of worry, a seed of fear, a seed of depression in you. And if you're not aware of what is spiritually going on, it will grow. And it falls down. Spirits transfer, y'all. It's these worldly labels are deceptions and pure delusion. And I just want y'all to just study. I'm doing it too, y'all. I'm not perfect, not by a long shot. I'm not trying to, point things.
We gonna study.
I just want y'all to know we all got to study to show ourselves to prove. It don't matter how much toilet paper you got, how many niggas you fucking, how many women got your back. It don't matter about none of that right now. It matter about the truth. And there is truth, only one truth. And it ain't got shit to do with your opinion, whether you right or wrong. Ooh, one more thing.
Hold on. One more thing that we got to let Lacey speak. Lacey,
okay, so they talk about the bitter woman, right? I found out in scripture that when you choose to lay with a man, first of all, when you exchange fluids, you automatically married. Now, let me say this part. When a woman chooses to leave a man, when she chooses to get up and go without that man releasing her, she gets scorned. It's a spiritual law that you scorn yourself when you leave without being released from a man. So women are bitter because they have a spiritual curse on them to be scorned because they had no business leaving without being released. You got to ask the Father to get that, to move for you and tell that man to release you. Other than that, you ain't got no business going nowhere, because your next relationship is going to be bullshit because you're bitter, because you're scorned. And that's it, y'all. I mean, that's it for now. I love y'all.
We love you too. We definitely got to bring you back and talk about some real stuff.
For real.
way to get in touch with me, whatever. I really do want to talk to you about other stuff, so I'll get in touch with you.
Yeah, email me, monroestorm59@gmail.com. It's all in the description box. Just email me. We'll link up.
Okay, for sure. All right, y'all.
Take care now.
Listening to you.
All right, Lacey, thank you so much for being patient. Go ahead, Lacey.
Hi. Well, some of the questions I had were already answered, but I guess the only comment I wanted to say from my experience growing up in a single parent Black home, especially with Black men for whom I think they want to give a message to young boys that I agreed with, how it's best to just find your one true soulmate, make a family with, not even soulmate, just find the one person you can be with, make a family with them, and leave it at that. Because I come from a father. My mother has 2 other siblings who have 2 other fathers other than me, and my father, bless him, has about 4, including me. I'm the oldest. And from what I can say from my experience is that it's not a healthy mentality. It puts a lot of stress on my one parent. She goes through a lot. You have people in my family telling her how to raise us, people from outside in the world. She just doesn't want the judgment, doesn't even want to explain how all of us have different fathers. I remember a close family friend of mine once during a party we were asked about my father. And I told her, I forgot how it was brought up, but I told her that we all had different fathers because my brother's father was there. And mind you, my brother's father looks nothing like me, nothing like me. He was high yellow, short, completely different features. So I guess what I wanted to say was that it's not just Black men, it's Black family too. The woman chose to lay down with the man chose to lay down with the woman. The baby was born. At the end of the day, we have to take responsibility for the kids that we bring up in this world, because they are living, breathing human beings, and they deserve to have a very good, fulfilling life. They deserve to have 2 parents there. Now, some people may believe, some people grow up and they call their fathers sperm donors. I don't do that. I used to refer to my father as, you know what, that's just a man. He's not my dad. My grandfather had to correct me, say to me that that's still your father. He's not a good father, but he's still my father. And I'm glad he told me that. That put me in a better mindset, because when my father started contacting me, I had more respect on my heart. Don't get me wrong, he still ain't worth it. He still ain't crap. Yeah, I was more open to it, to hear more of his side of the story. And you know what? Let me just say it. Coming from my experience with this, there are some irresponsible dudes. Just some irresponsible dudes. And it's nothing wrong. It's nothing deep. He came from a 2-parent home. He was just irresponsible. That's all I can say.
I appreciate you coming on, Lacey. You have a good night.
You too.
Bye-bye. Lacey was so sweet. That's true, though. I like that, though, that her grandfather let her know, like, look, you got to open yourself up a little bit. Okay, Kenneth, my guy, you have taken a lot of hits tonight, and I got to give you kudos. You take them hits like I'll be taking them during the show. But any closing remarks?
Yeah. Back in my day, in my younger days, I would be all in my feelings and all upset. But I've learned that I don't take things personal.
Right.
Even for people who may know me, if they say, "Oh, well, you think you're all of this because you work X, Y, and Z, or because you have this amount of money," if I never said that, then that's what you think. What you think has absolutely nothing to do with me at all. It doesn't even, it goes in and out. It does not stay. But since we're talking about solutions, I'm not even going to get on the past things, although I would say for us to start being a bit consistent. I mentioned in the chat that when someone says a derogatory statement about Black people or Black women, women are in an uproar. The majority are in an uproar, and then the minority of women are like, yeah, I understand that point because I've seen X, Y, and Z. But I must say that seeing how black women, I'm going to say black women, and I'm not talking about all, I'm just saying black women. It may be women, period. I don't know. But from what I've seen in my personal life, many of them live in Peter Pan land.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a land of being mentally at peace in stepping over truths and facts and not really observing or dealing with them. I'm just going to pretend like they're not there so that I can be at peace, you know. So if you're not even in a land of reality, then there's absolutely no way that you'll be able to talk from a standpoint of reality. You're speaking in Peter Pan language, you know. So I don't expect the majority to understand, you know. I've studied African American history. Uh, I've studied communications. So when a black man states something about black women, many of the first things that they say is, "You have a black mother," or uh, "You hate yourself. You hate yourself. You hate black self-hate." You know, I've spent money to know who I am. You see what I'm saying? I'm not just cruising down a block in my 6'4". I'm cruising. You know what I'm saying? I'm cruising down a lane of education and to learn who I am, because as the young lady said, the Tebe, I connect with her because I too am the oldest of five. I'm
All you guys with all these
yeah.
siblings. Oh my
The,
God.
yes, I'm the oldest of five, and there's a 13-year gap from me in the next one, number four. So I had to raise them in a sense while my mother was running the fucking streets and spreading her pussy wide open to each and every man that wanted. See, I'm not afraid to speak the truth because I'm
I just
okay with
feel
that.
bad for you because your
Don't feel
childhood was
bad.
taken.
Listen, don't feel bad because I believe in moments, and I believe that moments. See, I'm like as she said, I'm spiritual too. I believe in moments, and I believe that moments are intentional. And I believe that it was intentional for me to experience those things for me because God knew that my spirit can handle that. Do you know what I mean? God knew
Okay.
like what was. I believe we all have our stories played out, and we're just in a video game, just going through the next levels that are already spread out and written, you know. So don't feel bad for me, like at all. Like I'm totally good. As I said before, I've done the work, and if you're not willing to do the work, then I'm gonna put you on a side, and I'm gonna continue moving forward. And when you're ready to start doing the work, I'll be there. But until then, I'm in the lane of peace. And because I said before, there's like spiritual warfare going on. We have so many different things that are going on. There's about 100 different spirits in this room that I'm in right now, and I don't even see them. I don't
Yeah.
even know. Do you know what I'm saying? Like there's a whole aura around me that
Hold on.
I
I'm gonna
can't.
interrupt you really quick. I'm gonna interrupt you really quick. Bree
Okay.
said, "I'm sorry, but that comment about your mother was tacky and distasteful." Bree, I'm gonna respectfully disagree because he told the truth. That was the truth. What his mother did is no different than what a lot of our fathers do, except she's a woman.
And we
Okay, go
speak so harshly about men, and we say how they're low down and how they're this, that, and the third, and that's okay. But it's not okay to talk about the mother. Yes, my mother abused drugs and alcohol for 30 years. That's a fact. Yes, she did spread her pussy wide to different men. That's a fact. She did have 5 children by 5 different men that only one of them she was married to, and only one of them are have been and are in the picture, and that's the youngest child. Her father has always been in the picture. Me, the four, the three, the two. My father was murdered at an early age. He was murdered when I
on.
was 3.
Okay.
So I asked my mother questions about him. A duck would know more about my father than my mother would. She can't even answer simple questions. Do you see what I'm saying? So what I've learned is that from being around women the majority of my life, many of these babies aren't created from planning. Like, I'm 23 and I'm going to have a baby and I just want to have a baby right now and I'm going to choose the right mate to have this child by X, Y, and Z. No, it's just a lot of fucking going on. And babies are produced. Some of those babies are produced from men that they don't really like and that they don't really know, and vice versa.
But
Men,
what? But my thing is, but I guess my thing is, and I think it's where maybe me and Tasha was even having this conversation where like I personally lack empathy because I'm saying, wow, even though let's say I was a person that loved sex and I just it didn't matter. I just would have sex with anybody. Like, does nobody practice protection, birth control? Did nobody ever have that thought of, okay, I'm gonna do me, but I'm gonna make sure I don't get knocked up, or I'm gonna make sure I don't impregnate anybody? Did nobody think of that? Because that pull out shit is bullshit. Because it's good enough, you ain't pulling out. So we need to let that go.
Right. I mean, as I said, we, especially like young people, live in this world. You just want to have fun. When I was in my undergrad, I was fucking everything with a pulse. You hear me? Like, it didn't matter about. I didn't even know your fucking last name. Literally. I was suffering from depression. I was literally trying to find out who I am, trying to fill voids from childhood trauma and such. I probably didn't love myself that much. So I was literally doing what my mother did, spreading it to anybody. Look, you want boom, you want some boom, you want some boom, like just anybody.
And maybe she just didn't love herself, and that was her way of trying to get love.
She didn't, because she had issues with her mother and her father. Her mother and her father didn't accept her. My mother's 53 years old, and currently to this day, March 30th, 2020, she's still seeking their validation. Although she is off drugs and alcohol, she still does things for them to approve of her, because they still don't show her the love that she desires. Now, so it's real. And what I can say that I have been on a journey, as I said before, since September 19th last year, where I've excluded everyone from out of my life, everyone, my family, all friends, boo things, sex partners, relationships, everybody. I've changed my phone number, deactivated my Facebook and everything. And I decided to spend a year to dedicate to healing myself, to seeking counseling, and getting to become one with my spirit, as the lady said before, because we are spiritual beings living a physical experience. And I consider myself an eggshell, and on the inside is the yolk. The yolk of an egg, the egg itself can create so many things: scrambled eggs, fried eggs. You put the egg in cornbread, cakes, and hamburgers. I mean, you use eggs for almost anything. And that is what I consider my spirit to be. It's used for almost anything. So I believe that is what's most important. So I took the time to actually become one with my spirit. And it has been extremely helpful. When I listen, life is beautiful. If I don't listen to a specific thing, something happens, and it's not so good, but it's not too bad for me to hurt myself, if
Well,
you will.
let me ask you this, because this is really what a lot of people are wanting to say too. Oh, I mean, this is what a lot of people are probably wondering. Do you think you had issues with your family because of your sexuality? Did that have anything to do with? I'm just asking.
No, my parents, like, I was raised by my grandparents.
Okay.
Nobody never called me like faggot, or none of my family did. There was just a bunch of infighting with the older people, my mother and her siblings, and her parents, and that trickles down to me and my siblings. Because if my grandparents don't fuck with my mother, and have this hatred with her, whether what she did with drugs and stealing and all of that, then of course it's going to trickle down to her children. Then of
Yeah,
course
that's common sense. Yeah.
that same level of disdain that my grandmother has for my mother, my grandmother's other children are going to treat my mother the same way, because everybody follows. It's sheep. And my grandmother controls the narrative with her money. She has, money, and she still gives them money. So when there's money involved, niggas follow the money. You see, so it has nothing to do with me, my sexuality. That was not. And people say you choose. I was like prancing around when I was in diapers. I mean,
Look, that's going to be a conversation we have on another show, and I will bring you back and other people that have that conversation. Are you born that way?
Sure.
I think the answer is not one-sided. I think some people are. Where my finger at? There we go. I think some people are. I think a lot of shit got to do with what's in the food and the water, and I get very like tinfoil hattish. But that we ain't gonna go there. We need another 2 hours to do that. So, Kenneth,
I would say before you let me go,
okay.
I must say that I really want to say to everybody that don't take things personal, especially when it comes down to the whole Black conversation, because just because it may not be you. You may be a kind parent. There are plenty of others. You see it on the news. You go to any hood and you can see it. So don't take it personal and don't get upset as if someone is talking about you individually. And what I can say on a personal level, to do the work to get to know yourself, because you can only be of so much service to other people, and you can't even do for your own self. Do you see what I'm saying? So
Sweep your porch where you try to clean
Don't leave.
Well,
Your story
is opinionated.
Yes, it's inspiring. Forget what people saying about you. I think Storm and what he's doing right now is providing you a good outlet and his platform to tell your story. Thank you, Storm. I appreciate you. We need to hear that within our community, whether you're straight, gay, or whatever you want to be. If you're sexually fluid, you still have a story. You still have somewhere where you came from, and we all need to be educated on it. I am curious enough to find out more about our gay community, because how are we going to know what you guys are thinking, and how are we going to support you guys in your journey if we don't even know how you feel half of the time or your story? So don't let nobody discourage you. I thank you both. I thank you for your story. I thank you for your platform.
Yes,
absolutely. And we're gonna bring Kenneth back, because Kenneth, you're one. I hate to say this. You're one of the most articulative, if that's a word.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, I wish my guest from earlier today could have articulated himself like that, but that's okay too. Yeah. But it's that topic. Regardless of what people say about me, I don't care. But I know personally I have a gay aunt, and when I look at like her childhood photos, and my grandmama used to make her put on these dresses for church, and I can look and be like, some don't look right. Like it just don't. I can't explain it, but I think.
Well, so I watched you for a while before I totally joined. But I used to watch you, and I always listened to you talk about how you was rubbing oil on your skin and how you took care of yourself. I know guys like that. They're not gay.
Me too.
Some guys are
in New York, they're everywhere
for themselves, and that's okay. I know guys who go get their toes done more than women, or their nails done more than women, or just like smell good. I had a boyfriend. I never forget. He was like, ew, you don't have ugly feet, but that color don't match with your skin tone. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I mean, when you gotta put it out there, but I was like, oh my God. He said, you're a dark-skinned woman. You need a shade of nail polish that matches your skin tone. And I was like, what's wrong with you? And so he ended up being my best friend and my roommate. But
Okay.
what I'm trying to get to is my sister and we went into his restroom in my home. We went into his restroom because all my friends, he was so nice looking, like you two guys. He was so nice looking that, they was intrigued. He bathed with Bath and Body Works. But he was as straight as they came. You know what I'm saying? He was just that man who took pride in himself. So, Storm, I hear people say those things to you, and I'm like, you obviously just don't know who this man is. I've had friends like that. I know who you are. You can love women and be the person who just like things that smell good. That's who you are.
And
I
women
think
talk about toxic masculinity, but women talk about toxic masculinity all the time now, but they're kind of enforcing that as well, because it's the women who are saying, oh, this person is gay because they do this, or this person is gay because they do that. So you're not even allowing a man to even live outside of the realms of P5, 4, from me want food, me.
Yeah.
You're not even
But
letting
my
him
but
live.
my thing was my thing is I'm not mad if you assume I'm gay. I mean, I know what I talk about for a living. Now my voice on the phone is a little bit different than my voice on camera, but I ain't gonna put on that for y'all because I'm yelling. I have to keep you intrigued. But my thing is when they try to make it seem like a bad thing, as if my content isn't good because you think I'm gay. What I do in the bedroom has nothing to do with my content.
That's right. That's
Because
right.
the content is on point. You might not like I ain't even having sex for real. So I'm just like, where's this exciting ass personal life they claim I got? Anyway.
Storm, you are who you are, and you know what? I love all of it. I love all of it. Kenneth, I love you. You inspire me, and I'm glad you're getting counseling. I get counseling too. Do you know that? I go see a counselor.
Me too.
To me,
Man, that's awesome.
it's not wrong with that.
Black people get in there. We gotta get it, man.
You know why I think counseling is good? It's just like us talking right now. I don't know Storm. I don't know you, Kenneth, but you get it from someone outside looking in and their perspective on how things are. They ask you the questions, the tough questions that nobody ever thought to either put on your mind or just to ask you to, see where your head is at. Sometimes I could be thinking so emotionally, and so you could come right behind me, Kenneth, and be like, well, have you ever thought about it this way? And, it'll be like, well, hey, no, I haven't. And that's what counseling does for you. It turns it around and gives you a whole different perspective on some things that you may be dealing with.
Right.
That you're not even thinking about.
My cousin, he suffers from spinal stenosis. I suffered from a spinal syndrome called called equina, and plenty of spinal surgery. That's a whole nother story. But he gets steroid and epidural injections in his back once every 2 months. And there was this one doctor visit. He went, and they said, "Well, we're gonna give you 2 injections, one on the left side and one on the right side." He's never done that before. It was only on one side. So he normally pays $300 co-payment. This time they told him he had to pay $2,000. He's like, whoa, I'm not paying that. Like, it's normally, this amount of money. I'm not paying 2 G's for this. And so he didn't get it. He called me. He was upset. He was angry. Like, I need my shot and I'm in so much pain and X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, I understand where you're coming from, but look at it this way. You've never gotten those 2 shots at one time. What if you would have gotten those 2 shots and you would have been paralyzed? You know what I mean? Like, what if it would have come out a different way? So that happened for a reason. When things don't turn out our way, it's for a reason that they don't turn out that way. And that is what a therapist is there to do, to open another window for you to look outside of.
That's right. That's right. And we often have the wrong perspective on life sometimes. Yeah. It just takes someone else to turn our negatives into a very good positive that could lead us down an awesome path in life. And that happens for me.
Outside ourselves.
Yeah. You have to
step outside, because
it's growth.
Yes, growth. And it's so sad that there are plenty of people who are older than us that just don't grow. You know, and I look at how life is like the weather changes, the grass changes, the trees changes, the seasons change, plants change. I have a plant in here. I call her Pisciana. She grows every day. I talk to this girl, my plant. You know, and everything grows. And for someone to resist growth, I consider them dead. I consider them physically here, but spiritually they're just a zombie.
Yeah.
You know, so growth is necessary. And I, when I talk, people often say, "Oh, you're smart," or you know, and I always say, "No, I don't." No matter how much reading that I do, how much studying, how much higher education, I consider no one smart. Not my surgeons, not therapists, no one. I consider everybody either dumb and dumber. And I'm not looking at it in a negative light. I
Yeah.
just don't think that no one is smart. You know, even if you consider yourself book smart, there's a zillion published books in the world. If you've only read 2,000, how much do you know? When you're in school and you have a test coming up, you don't read the whole book. You read what you need to know to pass the test. And
Yeah.
typically what everybody does. Do you know? So I just consider myself knowing what I know. All I know is what I know, and what I don't know is what I don't know. And yeah.
Storm,
And
do you and Kenneth have a little bit of time for me to share a little bit of my story, perhaps?
go
I
for it. I might have to
yeah,
go pee while you're talking, but go for it.
I'll be here, but
Okay. Let me get some tissue. Because I did a story today. I find this therapeutic when I come on my own platform and talk, because when I do that, I'm able to let the world see a little bit of what I'm going through, as well as me realizing that I'm not alone.
Okay.
Um, I attempted suicide.
you're not alone.
Oh wow. You know,
You're
you're
not
not
alone.
alone.
It's okay. Let it out.
You know, when I did it, I was sexually assaulted as a child.
You're not alone
I
again.
was also sexually assaulted in the military.
Mm.
I had reached out to Tasha K at one point to ask if I could use my platform, her platform, to tell my story. So thank you, Storm, for allowing me that. But
You're welcome.
to make a long story short, I received a phone call from the police department telling me that the person who sexually sexually molested me as a child was getting out of jail. He went to prison for 15 years because he did it to me, and then 2 weeks later he turned around and did it to a little white girl.
Mm.
Wow.
I didn't even know they had my telephone number. I don't know how they found me, but it's the police. Hey, they could find anybody, and
Right.
they consider me I'm a victim, something. I don't know what it's called, but they was telling me that I can't go home to see my family without actually contacting the police office first, because he threatened to kill me, you know,
Mm.
because, and it was like, so when they told me, and I have to call them before I go home to visit, I have to stay so far away from him. I stay in another town to see my family. So I haven't been home to see my family in years, you know.
Wow.
Um,
Sorry to hear that.
I'm sorry.
so it's not a problem, but let me tell you what made it worse, right? So I just couldn't handle it. I couldn't handle it. I relived the whole thing when they gave me that phone call. Plus, I relived the sexual traumas from the military, because I had 3 of those in the military, right? And so I took pills and I slit my wrist. Um, my family, they all came over, and I'm the oldest of 6 girls, so I just felt like I had failed my sisters. Um, they all came over. Everybody took care of me. I went, they gave me my medication and I went to sleep. They gave me my sleeping pills and my Zoloft. I went to sleep. Because I suffer from PTSD too from the military, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Okay.
It's a lot.
So 4 hours later, and I wrote a suicide note. And me not paying attention and in my feelings, I just spun it out. And I guess it went to the wrong people. And they contacted the police. By then, 4 hours later, I'm in my room sleeping. The police came. They didn't show up with one car. They showed up with 5 different cars, 2 fire trucks, and an ambulance. And I live in a gated community, right? So for that right there, HOA was ready to eat me up. My husband came in the room and he was like, well, Terry, he said, they say they're going to take you to the hospital. And I said, well, I don't want to go. I didn't take my medicine. I apologize to you. I'm sorry for everything that I did, but I didn't mean to. And he was like, well, they said you have to go, and I was like, well, can I talk to the police? So they came in my bedroom and we was talking. I told them, I said, my family got me calmed down. I would go in tomorrow to the VA and talk with them and also talk with my counselor. I said, but let me try to work on this myself. I'm sorry for the note. I didn't mean to. It went out to everybody by mistake. I said, but I was in my feelings really bad. So they kept arguing with me and arguing with me. And I was just like, no, I'm not going. So they locked my husband out my room. Now, mind you, they didn't know I had just got that phone call. 5 white police officers, 2 of them climbed in my bed. I'm in my nightclothes. And the 2 that was in my bed, I asked them, I said, why are you in my bed? That's where my husband sleeps. That's where my husband sleeps at, and I was frantic at that point because I felt like I was being to be molested all over again. And then you got the other 3, they threw me on the ground. My undergarments was showing. The kids was in my nieces and nephews, because I don't have any children. I can't have kids. My nieces and nephews were in my living room, and they saw their auntie come out handcuffed and being dragged by a police officer. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
That broke me. That broke me. It broke me as a person. And they took me to the hospital. They went through all of my stuff, everything. They even counted the change in my purse. I went to sleep. I cried myself to sleep, And when the doctor came in, I told him. He released me like 5 minutes later. And he just apologized and couldn't stop apologizing. And he just went off. Like he was so mad because they didn't realize you inflicted more drama on a victim
Yes.
than I was already going through. And they didn't care. And so I contacted the mayor. I contacted the mayor and I let the mayor know, and he sent me out a letter of apology. And
that was nice.
The chief of police called and he was like, he said, my police officers, they're trained to deal with schizophrenics and manic people. He said, but they're not trained to deal with people who actually are not truly a mental case. He said you were a victim. He said you were suffering from something. And so he invited me out to go through a sensitivity training with their police officers and tell them my story. So from that point on, they know how to gauge and approach that situation. I told them because the main problem was they didn't ask me no questions. They didn't ask me what brought that on.
Mm-hmm.
They only know that they was gonna take me and they treated me like something I had never been. I had never been in handcuffs. I didn't know how to deal with that. You know, I served my country. It broke me.
Yeah.
And that's why I say you can never really listen to what people say. People don't know the real you.
They don't.
Storm. I saw people tear you down, and I still see them tear you down. They don't know how that makes you feel as a person inside. And you know, people are not, most of the time, they don't even think that far. They just think about what they want to come out their mouth in that moment.
Right.
Same for you, Kenneth. You know, don't let this beat you down.
Never.
Don't take away from it the negative, but take away the positive that you did. You, Storm, you, Kenneth, you gave me a platform to tell my story. And for that, you helped me as well as you guys help someone else's life. Because look at me. I overcame it. It's still a lot to deal with, but it was hard. And also it shows if police officers are on here or if someone related to a police officer of how not to treat everybody that you come in contact with that may be going through something.
Exactly right.
That's right.
I didn't know how to handle it. I've always been a strong woman, but in that moment I wasn't strong and I was scared for my life. I had a person that just served 15 years who told me he was going to kill me. I was just informed he was getting out of jail. How I was supposed to feel.
Exactly.
I must say that you I can tell that you've definitely come a long way to be able to share your story with us and you know, thanks to Storm and for everyone else who is listening and watching. And just know that you're a survivor. You're not a victim.
Yes.
I too have had to learn that as well. I was molested when I was in the third grade by an older cousin. And I too attempted suicide 3 times, twice in middle school and once in high school. The pills, slitting of the wrist, drinking bleach. And nobody knew because I ended up going to sleep all 3 times and I woke up. I mean, no headaches. Nobody had to pump my stomach. I woke up angry that I was still alive. And the third time I realized that, okay, God, you win. Okay, I'm supposed to be here. I get it. I'll do it again. You know, I didn't go to the hospital. Nobody taught me, just nothing. So with therapy, I had to learn that I am a survivor because if I consider to call myself a victim, I will continue to get victimized. And because I will carry that spirit along with me in life with being a victim. And I will find myself in situations where I am the victim, even if I'm not really, but in my mind, I would make myself the victim. Do you see what I'm saying?
And you'll attract that energy.
You'll attract that. So,
and you know, I never thought about it. Thank you.
Yeah,
I've never thought about it in that aspect. Because maybe I have been carrying myself as a victim in certain circumstances in my life.
Yes, and just know that you're not alone. Someone else in your family, I can guarantee you, has tried to commit suicide in their past. My younger sister, she's 19 years old. She never knew anything about my suicide attempts, but when she was in high school, she tried to commit suicide as well. So I do believe that it is spiritual. It's spiritual forces that jump from one body to the next, from one line, one generation to the next, and it just keeps on going until someone calls out that spirit by name and rebukes it from ever coming back into that family line again and coming back into your life again. So, I mean, it takes constant daily prayer, daily meditation, like you're doing with the counseling, and just knowing that you're beating this thing, you're winning, you're a survivor, and you will continue to win and succeed in life, and all that you do, you will definitely be a winner.
You will. She will. And honestly, I'm really glad I did this show tonight. This show took a different turn for sure. This has been an interesting day. But
Yeah.
but I'll say that Terry, I'm glad you told your story. Kenneth, I'm glad you took them hits tonight. But you stuck in there. And I think what we've learned is basically don't just judge people on what you see on the outside. Talk to them, get to know them a little bit, ask them about their past. You'll be surprised who opens up and say, hey, I'm X, Y, and Z. And maybe, that's why I do what I do, or I react the way I react. Compassion, I guess, is what I'm trying to get to.
Because we're all onions. There are so many different layers to an onion. There's so many different layers to us, but we just have to stop wanting this attention that's not positive. The way I look at it, it's not a positive thing to constantly going under Instagram and going in the comment section and saying, "Oh, this black ass, oh, this motherfucker, he's black and black." That's not cute to me. That's not, and you'll attract bad energy into your life by doing that. So put into the world what you want the world to give back to you. That's what I live by.
That's what we're going
to look at it. Maybe they're reaching out too. Maybe these same people that sit behind here and be these bullies behind the screen. You never know what they're going through.
Of course.
Of course.
Maybe they're just trying to find a way to reach out. Mean people tear down. Hurt people tear down other people. That's
because hurt people hurt people.
Yeah.
I'm speaking from experience, because before I was healed, I was a mean person. Like when I talk, I don't just talk like butterflies in Peter Pan land. I'm talking about real life experience. 10 years ago, I was not this person. I was not anything like this. I would be the person like, and, you stupid, you know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck, bitch ass hoe, you know what I'm saying? Like I was rowdy. I didn't give a fuck about people's feelings. I wanted to implement hurt, that same level of hurt on people, the same amount of hurt that was implemented on me. Do you know what I mean? When I was younger, I used to look at feminine dudes and be like, oh, that's a fucking faggot, yo, that's a fucking faggot. Meanwhile, I was fucking. You know what I'm saying? I was fucking dudes the same time that I'm like, that's a fucking faggot. Look, yo, look, yo. Ah, that motherfucking faggot, I was that person. So I know this from experience. Like when people are mean and things, they're going through something really serious on the inside, and it just takes that one person who doesn't take things serious to be like, sit down. Look. I know you called me a bitch, but look, sit down. Look, tell me what's really going on.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, spread it out. Okay. I'm a hoe. I'm good. Yeah.
Not cutting you off, but I think both of you, for my therapy tonight, I think I could sleep a little better knowing that two wonderful strangers gave me a little bit more to feel better about. So
absolutely.
Thank you.
And I can say the same to you, love.
Tomorrow.
All right now.
Good night to you, and thank you again, Storm.
Good night to
thank
you. You've been a blessing.
You both are beautiful people. Thank
you.
You
are too. You've been a blessing, and may you continue on your journey towards happiness, peace, love, and just spreading your story and your joy to everyone in the world, in hopes that everyone would jump onto your bandwagon and riding the wave of being a good person to others and listening.
Amen. Thank you so much, Terry.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, Kenneth, I got to use this bathroom. I want to thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me, man. It's been a pleasure. I've been watching you for a long time, but I've just never actually commented or got on. I put you on the TV. Where the TV at? Hey,
right there. Yeah.
But look, I don't comment on anybody's stuff. I just watch and be entertained. But this is the first time I'm like, wow, this is a really good conversation. Let's actually interact. So I've been watching you for a long time. You've been doing your thing. I commend you. I see all your interviews, and you've been growing so much. And I'm just happy to be in the midst of your stormdom.
Well, I appreciate that, man. And I want you to please email me. Tebe emailed me. I just got her email, but go ahead and email me because I want to set up the show where we talk about LGBTQIA+. I know all my acronyms.
Look, ABCDEFG is what I call it. Literally. All of the fucking alphabets.
But I want us to have an honest conversation about, you know, do you feel like you were born that way? Do you feel like the food has something to do with it? And I want to have maybe like 2 or 3 members of that community, and then like 2 or 3 straight people, and we have an honest conversation. So I'll put out the announcement for that too, and I'll pick the people. But definitely email me because I want you to be on that as well.
Thank you, but where can I find your email?
It's in the description box.
Oh, cool. Okay, well, that's all good. I thank you for having me. I'll definitely shoot you an email. And like I said, thank you for having me. Thank you for putting this subject matter out there for everyone to talk and comment on, and just for having it open, because you really could just have it just you speaking and not having an open platform. So I definitely do. Thank you for that. And thank you for having me, man.
You're welcome, man. You take care now, and shoot me that email.
I will. I'm about to go get me some ginger and ale because I'm
all right now.
All right, man.
Later. All right, guys. So we had a good show. This is a darn good day. This is proof that even when things start off a little shaky, they can end off on the right foot. So make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share if you care for reviews, roasts, entertainment news, updates, and whatever we want to talk about over here. I will catch you guys later. I gotta go pee.
It's a storm show. Ay, it's a storm show.